On American campuses, hostility towards Israel can be very high. It can be very divisive. Typically, you'll have protests for events, and you hear about this really all over the United States, and it's quite troubling.
To be pro-Israel on some campuses will sometimes mean peer pressure to either abandon your organization or to dismantle it. There are oftentimes protests. There are sometimes other students that stand outside with flyers that have what they call facts on them. There have been instances of what is called an apartheid wall erected on college campuses, and this wall is to symbolize an apartheid within the state of Israel that does not exist.
The campus environment in the United States of America is extremely challenging for anybody who favors the story of the State of Israel today. At the undergraduate level, it's particularly disruptive. It can oftentimes be very, very intimidating. I myself have faced massive demonstrations prior to even making an initial comment during the course of my presentations on university campuses.
Zionists have for so long controlled.
Are you working on that flag on purpose?
Particularly here in the United States, the BDS movement is something that is very negative towards the existence of the State of Israel. And there's a lot of falsehoods being spoken about through that movement.
The enemies of the State of Israel, with all the historic forebears that they have a rich playbook to draw from, and frankly, they know what they're doing. And in order to stand up to them, you have to have people who know what they're doing. Our Soldiers Speak knows what it's doing.
Here on the campuses of the United States of America, there's no better way to combat untruth and fabrications than with pure truth. Our Soldiers Speak is a unique organization in that they're the only non-government organization based out of Israel that brings uniformed, active duty, high-ranking military officials to the United States to espouse the truth of the Israeli military, of the Israeli people, and of the State of Israel.
We match the officers that we bring from the IDF and the National Police to the audiences that we have here. We have the lawyers that's coming to speak at the law schools. We have the doctors of the IDF who are coming and speaking here at the medical schools, at the graduate schools.
We bring members of the diplomatic corps to brief students who are pursuing degrees in international relations and policy, and we bring media experts from the State of Israel on matters of security and policy to the preeminent media schools. So we generate on campus the conversation about Israel in the language in which the students wish to discuss the subject from the outset.
We bring them to speak at Capitol Hill for the senators and Congress people.
The mission of the organization is to educate and teach the truth of the Israel Defense Forces, of the State of Israel. There is no shortage of folks in the world who deny the truth, and Our Soldiers Speak is out there to, in fact, keep the truth front and center.
Our Soldiers Speak is bringing future leaders of the United States to Israel, future members of Congress, future business leaders, future leaders of state government, future policymakers.
Cadets from West Point, and we also brought students from 10 different countries.
On our trip, we had students from various European countries. Most of the students are not Jewish. Our Soldiers Speak brings a diverse group of students, which allows us to have a unique perspective and a unique questions because of our combined academic backgrounds.
We traveled throughout Israel, meeting with the experts on essentially every issue on the security and diplomacy front that Israel faced. We were in the north of the country on the Lebanese border, meeting with a high-level IDF commander. We were meeting with a general on the Gazan border in the south. We also met with an advisor to the prime minister. We met with sitting Knesset members, an all-star list of candidates. We could have been congressional representatives coming over in a delegation, understanding the issues at a remarkable level, and it was just a fantastic opportunity.
If people just understood more about the situation, they would gain a greater understanding of it and be able to help work toward a sustainable peace or a sustainable resolution of conflicts over there.
The first thing I wanted to do after I got back from the tour was engage more deeply with Our Soldiers Speak. I had the opportunity to bring 2 more speakers to the University of Pennsylvania, both of whom were experts on their relevant subject.
These young folks then go to the Hill and address members of Congress, senators.
Our Soldiers Speak will be expanding our focus to bring about campus events on new fronts, such as in Kenya, in Australia, in Germany, in France, and we will be, of course, re-intensifying our focus once again here in North America as well. The people who are connected with Our Soldiers Speak are already changing the future. They're changing their own future. They're opening their minds to learning more about the State of Israel. They're opening themselves up to experiencing Israel on a personal level. And I think that one cannot help but influence others as a direct consequence of first being influenced oneself. Our Soldiers Speak is making a difference on campus. It's making a difference by bringing select student representatives to the State of Israel, and it's absolutely making a difference on matters of policy when we brief members of the United States Senate, members of the United States Congress, leading policy think tanks and spheres of influence writ large throughout North America. And we're just getting started.